And we are live. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. I understand school's canceled, something like that. Some of the schools are canceled because it's raining outside, which is absolutely insane. It's kind of miserable, but it's going to be beautiful by this weekend. But yeah, kind of a dreary Monday. Yeah, if you guys are tuning in, if you're watching, let's drop a comment. See if you had a good weekend. I'm going to leave a comment here. Comment your favorite part of retest week. Because that's what we're coming off of. Is an awesome retest week. We just wrapped up our very first training cycle of 2026. It's already March 16th. Cannot believe it. 3.5 months into the year. And yeah, we've had an awesome start. I came in this morning. I got a chance last week, but I was out of town this weekend. So I came this morning, collected up all the scorecards, was going through them. They look amazing. We got a lot of scorecards that look just like that. Let me get it. Completely filled out. But yeah, what an awesome first training cycle. We hit our baseline week, the first official week of January. I think January 5th was the start of baseline week. Somehow 8 weeks have already gone by. And now we retested, and it was awesome. The PRs were crazy. And so I can't wait to get into this with you guys and kind of talk about some wins, some celebrations. I want to go through a couple of these as we get started. Just shout out some people. And this is random. I just have my stack filtering through, but at the top is Ethan, the card that I just showed you. Got his first set of strict pull-ups, and there were a lot of athletes that did that. 3 strict pull-ups, added, this is insane, he added like 600 pounds to his Mad Max score, which if you're not familiar with that workout, 600 pounds sounds like an insane number, but Mad Max is a crazy workout. You have a lot of lifts, a heavy set of 5, 3, and 1 for bench press, back squat, and deadlift. So it is very possible to accumulate that much weight to your PR, to the difference between baseline week and retest week. Amazing. Shaved 6 minutes off of his OxFit PFT, which is our kind of high rocks style workout that we did on Saturday. He added 2 rounds to his strict gymnastics workout. And I know, just because I was coaching Ethan the day he did it, he got a lifetime bench press PR, which is crazy. So shout out Ethan, absolutely crushed this first cycle of 2026. My client, Daniel, PRs just down the scorecard. Daniel and I have been working together since the end of last year, and he has made some insane strength gains. His fitness has improved so much. Added over 200 pounds to his lifts, which is crazy. We've been focusing on building strength together. Chelsea Lewis, Ayana, basically the entire 5:30 a.m. class gets a shout out because every single one of their scorecards is completely filled out as usual. So if you've got big goals, I mean, that's the class you need to be in. I feel like we've said that a lot before. And then also shout out to Yona, one of our moms working with Lauren. She had an amazing scorecard. She got her pull-ups this cycle, kipping pull-ups. I was able to be there whenever she got some of her first ones, which was so cool. And there were so many moments like that this entire cycle. So if you were at OxFit the past 8 weeks and you came, at least 3 or 4 times a week, I know your scorecard looks amazing. Give yourself a pat on the back because we had a great start to the year. Ant is already talking shit. That's fine. He beat me by like 1 rep. And that's only because I thought I was way further ahead of him. So I slowed down. And then Lauren whooped both of us. But once again, Lauren was working out with the 5:30 a.m. class. They're crazy. She was trying to keep up with Chelsea and got a crazy score on that workout. So yeah, if you're watching, comment your favorite part of retest week. Ant's favorite part was beating me. You could also comment just your favorite workout. I really liked polar plunge. I thought the strength before that was pretty cool. We did our strict press, and then you had to use that same weight for as many shoulder to overhead as you could in 2 minutes, which 2 minutes is a long time. Whitney's here. Good morning, Whitney. Whitney had a great scorecard. Let's find hers. Whitney and Patrick, her husband, both had awesome scorecards. Yep. Here's Whitney. Boom. Completely filled out. Whitney does love double unders. She loves them so much, she did 208 of them in January. And when she did that, I said, what did you do? Now you got to beat it at retest week. And she did. I thought she'd just do 209 because why would you do more than that? She did 249. So yeah, I think just because of that, our summer cycle is going to have a max unbroken set of double unders in it. And we're going to see what she can do the next baseline week if she can get 300. We'll see. All right, I think it's just Ant and Whitney here. Nice. But yeah, just wrapped up first cycle of 2026 if you're just popping in. And if you were in the gym, you know what we've been doing. But if you haven't been here, basically the past 8 weeks, we've really been focusing on building a foundation of strength. We had a lot of strict gymnastics. We had some great variations in workouts that tested your fitness in different ways. Some were long, more endurance focused. Some were a little bit shorter, more sprinty. But basically, the main focus is just building strength, building a solid foundation that we can continue to grow, continue to pull from throughout the rest of 2026. And retest week was evidence that all of that hard work we put into building that foundation really paid off. The amount of PRs was crazy. So for the people that were showing up, 3 to 4 times per week, which is what we recommend to get great results, we saw an average of about 25 pounds added to each of their key lifts. So that bench press, back squat, and deadlift. And then when we translate that into the Mad Max scores, which those scores are just like huge numbers because we add up all of these weights together. Athletes were PRing that workout from anywhere to 100 to 500 pounds, or if you're Ethan, over 600 pounds, which is crazy in just 8 weeks to make those strength gains. And if you've done that workout, you know that it is not just focusing on strength. You also had to do some 1-minute tests of cardio in there. So it was a really cool balance of heavy lifting and endurance on the machines. But that workout alone was such a good indicator of, how much people have improved over this cycle. And then the next coolest thing was on Wednesday, seeing all of our strict pull-up and push-up PRs. We had about an average of 5 strict push-ups added to each person's score, average of about 3 strict pull-ups. And one of the coolest things was just seeing how many people were getting their first ever strict pull-up. And for some people did their first set of strict pull-ups. So they didn't just do 1, they did 2 or 3. And this is such, a huge milestone for a lot of athletes. And it was so cool to see those breakthroughs happen, especially in our mom's class. I feel like, some gyms you go to, I feel like women maybe aren't pushed to kind of perfect or chase those push-up and pull-up goals because it's so easy to just default to, I don't have any upper body strength. I can't do that. I can't do push-ups. I can't do pull-ups. And then sometimes it takes just asking. Some people have never tried and some people surprise themselves. I see someone doing knee push-ups and I'm like, have you ever even tried a strict push-up? And they say no, and then they do it. So just having a coach, sometimes that's all it takes is asking you, hey, have you even tried to do that? And then they jump up to the bar, they pull, and then their chin gets over. So you never know. And if you take my class when we do these tests, these pull-up tests, I make everyone jump up to the bar without a band. We talk about where to put your hands, and then I say pull, and we see what happens. And some people, you don't move at all. Some people get halfway up, and then some people get their first pull-up, but you don't know until you try. And Whitney agrees. Yeah, the OxFit moms definitely showed out this cycle. Another one of our classes that is just so consistent, that 8:15 a.m. at both locations. They really put in the work, and it's so awesome. In addition to, the strength and the strict gymnastics, we saw about an average of 15 reps added to our fitness workouts. And especially our polar plunge that Ant happily beat me in. It was 12 minutes of work, just straight work for 12 minutes. And so it might be easy to squeeze in 1 rep or 2 rep, but we had people adding, an entire round to that workout. So completing the round of 15 or 18 or getting into the round of 21, which is so cool. For movements that aren't easy, box jumps, shoulder to overhead, and wall balls on a Thursday after a hard week. So it was such a cool way to kind of close out retest week before we had our Saturday workout. But like I said in the beginning, looking through all of our scorecards, it is not a coincidence that the ones that are always filled out from start to finish for baseline and retest week, the ones that have the most PRs are our morning crew. So 5:30, 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. at both locations. These athletes don't miss, and that's because they're coming at a time when other things can't get in the way of their training. So if you feel like you're struggling to get into a rhythm, you feel like you've been at OxFit for a little while, you want to get into these scorecards baseline retest week, but you just can't make it work, you might need to try coming in the morning. The earlier you get here, the less chance there is of something stopping you from getting to the gym. If you're waiting until 5:30, 6:30 at night, those chances just keep getting higher and higher. Every hour that you wait, that something is going to get in the way of you getting your workout in. So yeah, try it for a week. Just set that alarm. Make yourself get up, come to the 5:30 class. We have a fun time. It's a big group. They're not super talkative, but we wake up together. By the end of class, we're usually laughing and talking. So come try it out if you need to get some more consistency in your schedule. So yeah, it was great. Awesome cycle. Super happy with how we started 2026. I feel like everyone is feeling very proud of themselves. They're feeling strong. They're feeling fit. So that's amazing, and that's part of the reason why we keep doing cycles like this over and over again. We do it 4 times a year: spring, summer, fall, and winter. And the reason we do it, and we've talked about this time and time again, is because we like to know the truth. We like to know if what we're doing is working. And I love being able to show our athletes that whether you're brand new to OxFit, you joined at the beginning of 2026, or you've been a member since 2016 or almost 10 years ago, which we do have a lot of athletes that have been with us that long that are still getting results. And that is because the feedback never stops. The progressive overload, the support from coaches, none of that stops. So plateaus don't have to exist. And we really believe that your progress should be measurable, and that's why we track it. Because when you see the numbers improve, when you have that physical scorecard in front of you, or your coach takes you up to the computer screen and shows you the graph on Wodify that shows your improvement, that's what motivates you to keep going, that data. And I feel like if you're currently going to a gym, if you've been to a gym before where you're just endlessly running, you use the same weights every day, maybe your gym doesn't have heavier weights. There are some gyms that have, just 2 weight options, and that is your tools for your fitness. So you're using the same weights every day, you're doing the same workouts on repeat, and you're wondering why you don't look or feel any different. The answer is this: you're not measuring it, you're not pushing yourself harder, you're not tracking anything, you don't have a coach encouraging you. So that's why. You need to know if what you're doing is working, and you need to be pushed progressively to increase your weights, your work capacity, your stamina over time. And that is built into the program every day, every week, every cycle, without our athletes maybe even knowing it. Sometimes just by doing the workout as it is designed, it is automatically going to do that for you. So if you come to OxFit and you see your name on the All-Americans list, which means you come at least 4 to 5 times a week, depending on the month, if you're on that list, you can't not improve. Now, there are other gyms where, I see it, they have their version of an All-Americans list, who comes the most. And these people look exactly the same as the first day they started because they've been doing the same exact thing. They have no feedback other than, yay, you showed up again. And we just want to give you guys so much more than that. And to be fair, this isn't for everyone. We've had people come to OxFit who didn't enjoy it because they don't like feedback. They don't like being, pushed to go a little bit faster, to try something new, to jump up to the pull-up bar and see if you can even do a strict pull-up. That in itself would kind of turn a lot of people away because people don't really like knowing the truth, and that's totally fine. But if you walk into this gym and you say, I want to look different, I want to feel different, I want to be stronger, I want to be fitter, I want to be, visibly more ripped, we're going to believe you. And those are the famous words of Aunt Oxley. If you tell him something, he's going to believe you. And I think that's kind of built into the culture we have here. If you share your goals with me or any of the coaches, we're not automatically going to say, oh, are you sure? We're going to say, okay, cool. This is what you need to do. I'm going to see you tomorrow, 5:30 a.m. because you said you wanted to be fitter and stronger. And that can kind of turn some people off. But if you embrace that, the results are just going to happen, which is what we see every single cycle. So yeah, cycle 1, 2026, it is done. The foundation is built. Our athletes are strong, we are fit, and we are ready to go into summer. I'm ready for it to feel like summer. Felt like summer a little bit this weekend, but I'm ready for the next training cycle. I'm ready to keep building, to keep, trying new things, pushing ourselves, and really see how far we can take it the rest of the year. So if you're a person who finished the spring 2026 training cycle and you want to take the next one to the next level, you're on the All-Americans board, you got amazing PRs, what does summer or what does even the rest of the year look like for you? Well, what we want you to do next is we want you to set a bigger goal, and there's a few ways to do that. So yeah, going beyond the scorecard, going beyond the class workouts is, asking athletes to have an understanding that each of the workouts we do relates to an event we have. And coming up, the next big event is going to be our DECA Summer Fit Fest. We have 2 huge DECA events happening the weekend of June 19th, I believe is a Friday, 19th and 20th. It's a 2-day event. And that is an awesome goal to set your eyes on. It's going to fall right at the very end of our summer retest week. And coming up our next baseline week, we're going to show you guys what workouts are going to correlate with those events. And if you enjoy them, we really, really think you should sign up and challenge yourself in a different way outside of our class workouts. But beyond that, we have triathlons coming up. We have high rocks coming up towards the fall, November. So setting a big goal. And, we would love it if that's tied to an event because we really believe in testing ourselves that way and we think it's so fun. But it doesn't have to be. So you can, just keep focusing on yourself and focusing on getting bigger and better results this next cycle. Our OxFit classes are amazing. They get our athletes stronger and fitter, but there are 23 hours outside of the 1 hour you spend at OxFit that are also impacting your body. So, wouldn't it be so nice if one of your amazing OxFit coaches could just come home with you and help you with your groceries, your dinner, your sleep, your work-life balance? It would be amazing. And that's why we have our coaching program, because we can sort of give that to you. So it's designed to help our members get the best results in 8 weeks. And that combines the amazing OxFit workouts with having your own personal OxFit coach to help you navigate all the other things that are happening in your other 23 hours a day. So not only will you get an amazing scorecard at the end of 8 weeks, you're going to have a whole new set of habits, nutrition. Your body is probably going to look and feel even better than it already would if you commit to coming 3 to 4 days a week to work out. So that's going to be kind of the next step. What do you want to do? Where do you want to take your fitness? What's the next challenge you're going to give yourself? And now is the perfect time, because if we spend the next 8 weeks nailing down some amazing habits, you will feel your absolute best at the close of our summer training cycle, which is kind of end to mid-June, which is going to be here before we know it. Think about how fast March is here. I feel like yesterday we were, celebrating Christmas, ringing in the new year, and now it's March 16th. And that's going to happen again in the summer. It's going to happen again in the fall. It's going to happen again in the winter. And then next thing we know, it's going to be 2027. So time flies, and 8 weeks is going to go by like that. So we might as well use it and get some amazing results and have fun while we do it. And I know a lot of people think like, I'm traveling, the kids go on spring break in April, we have that vacation in May, and then we go out of town again in June. That's amazing, because that gives us an opportunity to help you navigate all of those things while maintaining, the results, the physique you want, the nutrition you want, the habits you want. All of that can still happen while you're busy, and it's actually better that it happens at that time. So if you think that the next 8 weeks are going to be some of your craziest, the most hectic, the most busy, I want you to think of that as a good thing and lean into it, and think of all the amazing work you could put in so that you're setting yourself up for an amazing second half of 2026. Because what we don't want to happen is to just keep letting things get away from us. Next thing we know, it's October. I know how you guys are. I'm the same way. You'll check out and be like, I'll try again next year. And we don't do that. We want to fix those problems now. We want to get results now, this 8 weeks, this cycle. So if you're watching this and you felt like you had an amazing spring training cycle, spring 2026 was your best start to the year that you've ever had, it can be even better if we just take it one step further. So, food for thought, but otherwise, take a moment to celebrate all your hard work this past training cycle. It was a great start. I've really enjoyed going through your scorecards. If you guys want a copy of your scorecard, you can ask us. We'll be happy to give it to you if you want to hang on to it. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get all the data off these. I want to make sure we record and remember every single PR, from your weightlifting to your fitness to your strict gymnastics. Hell yeah, so many pull-ups. And summer, flex, flex, flex. That is right. We are ready for summer. It is Bring a Friend Week, which is how we always follow up our retest week. Take a chance to just enjoy some workouts. We're not really focusing on training for everything. We're just using our fitness to have fun. And we want to invite you guys to bring some friends into the gym with you to share that. Next week, we will get into a little bit of summer prep. And then we are going to knock out our summer baseline week before everyone leaves for spring break. So we're going to do baseline the very first week of April. I believe it starts March 30th. So the very last day of March going into April, we'll baseline test everyone, and then you can take off on spring break. And as soon as y'all get back, we will be getting to work for our summer 2026 training cycle and gearing up for DECA Strong and DECA Atlas. It is going to be a great few weeks coming up. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. Hope you had a good Monday. Stay dry. I will see you guys in the gym.